Most Americans are not bad with money. That is the first myth. The real problem is far more dangerous. Most people were never taught how money should actually flow through their lives. So what happens? People earn money, then react emotionally. They spend when stressed, spend when bored, spend when successful, spend to feel productive, spend to feel important, and eventually money stops feeling like a tool and starts feeling like survival. That is why millions of Americans earning decent incomes still feel financially anxious all the time. Because without structure, money becomes chaos, and chaos becomes stress. But wealthy people often approach money differently, not because they are smarter, not because they work harder, but because they allocate money intentionally. They give every dollar a job before emotions can take control. And one of the most effective systems for doing that is surprisingly simple. 25% invest, 25% build, 40% live, 10% enjoy, not as a budgeting trick, but as a psychological system for escaping financial instability. Most Americans believe more income will solve their financial stress. But income alone rarely fixes financial chaos. In fact, higher income often creates bigger chaos. Why? Because when people earn more money without structure, their lifestyle expands automatically. A better apartment, a newer car, more subscriptions, more luxury spending, more debt, and slowly, their future income becomes permanently committed to maintaining a lifestyle. This is why so many high earners still feel trapped, not because they are poor, but because their money has no direction. The modern economy encourages this constantly. Every app wants a subscription. Every advertisement sells status. Every platform monetizes insecurity. And eventually people stop asking, what builds freedom? And start asking, what feels good right now? That is where financial anxiety begins. The first category is growth. 25% of your income should go toward building future wealth. This is the part most Americans neglect, because modern culture trains people to consume income, not multiply it. But wealthy people understand something critical. Money that is never invested remains trapped in labor forever. If all your income comes from your time, your survival depends entirely on continuing to work. That creates fragility. Growth money exists to slowly break that dependency. And no, this does not require becoming a Wall Street genius. The real goal is ownership. Owning things that grow over time. Index funds, businesses, real estate, valuable skills, cash flow assets. Even small amounts matter. Because the most powerful force in finance is not brilliance. It is consistency combined with time. Most people underestimate compound growth because modern culture trains people to think short-term. But wealth is often built quietly. One automated investment at a time. One asset at a time. 1 year at a time. And eventually the system changes. You stop working only for money, and money slowly starts working for you. The second category is stability. This may be the most psychologically important part of the entire system. 15% exists for protection, emergency savings, cash reserves, liquidity. Why does this matter so much? Because modern American life became extremely fragile. One medical issue, one layoff, one emergency, and many people collapse financially, not because they failed, but because they had no margin for disruption. This is why wealthy people value liquidity far more than average consumers realize. Cash creates optionality. Without emergency savings, people panic faster, make emotional decisions, stay in toxic jobs, accumulate bad debt, destroy investments under pressure. Financial stability is not exciting. It does not look impressive online, but psychologically, it changes everything. Because when emergencies stop feeling catastrophic, fear loses power over your life. And that changes decision-making completely. The next category is essentials. 50% should cover the core cost of survival. Housing, food, transportation, utilities, insurance, necessities. This is where most financial lives quietly collapse. Not because of coffee, not because of small purchases, but because fixed costs become too large. Housing and transportation destroy more American budgets than almost anything else. And once fixed costs rise too high, freedom disappears. This is why lifestyle inflation is so dangerous. People think, I make more money now, so they upgrade. Apartments, cars, neighborhoods, lifestyles. But every upgrade creates future dependency. A person with low fixed costs has flexibility. A person with massive obligations needs continuous income just to survive. That is not freedom. That is maintenance mode. The modern economy constantly pressures people to normalize expensive living. But wealthy people often think differently. They understand that controlling fixed costs creates long-term power, because lower obligations create investment capacity, mobility, resilience, optionality. Freedom is not only about making more, it is also about needing less. Now here is the part most budgeting systems completely misunderstand. 10% should go toward rewards, not irresponsibility, not reckless spending, but intentional enjoyment. This matters because humans are not machines. A financial system built entirely around restriction eventually collapses psychologically. People burn out, then binge spend emotionally. That cycle destroys consistency. Wealthy people understand something average consumers often miss. Sustainability matters more than intensity. The goal is not financial punishment. The goal is long-term stability. That means allowing space for experiences, travel, hobbies, relationships, joy. Because a life with zero enjoyment eventually creates resentment toward discipline itself. And once discipline becomes emotionally painful, people abandon it entirely. This is why reward money matters. It prevents money from becoming a source of constant deprivation. The reason this framework works is not mathematical. It is psychological. Most people experience money emotionally. Fear, impulse, comparison, status, anxiety. This system creates boundaries before emotions take over. It tells money where to go before social pressure decides for you. And that is incredibly important in modern America, because modern capitalism is built around engineered consumption. Everything competes for your attention and your wallet. The average American receives thousands of advertisements every day, all pushing the same message. Upgrade your life. Spend more. Look successful. Consume more. Compare more. But financially intelligent people understand something powerful. Not every dollar should improve your lifestyle immediately. Some dollars should improve your future instead. That mindset changes everything. Most people think money is about luxury. It is not. Money is about reducing pressure. Pressure to survive. Pressure to stay in toxic environments. Pressure to panic during uncertainty. The real goal of financial structure is not becoming flashy. It is becoming harder to destabilize. That is real wealth. Not appearance. Not status. Not branding. Stability. Freedom. Margin. And perhaps most importantly, the ability to make decisions without fear controlling everything. The average person spends money reactively. Wealthy people allocate money strategically. That is the real difference. Not intelligence. Not luck. Not secret investing tricks. Structure. Because without structure, higher income often creates bigger chaos. But when money has direction, life slowly becomes less fragile. So maybe the question is not, how much money do you make? Maybe the better question is, how much of your money is actually building freedom?
Hey, I'm Suri. And before you go, if this video gave you a new perspective or helped you think differently about money, life, or success, then maybe this channel is worth being part of. I spend hours researching, writing, and creating every single video, not just for views, but to create something meaningful, something real. So if you'd like to support the journey, subscribe, and let's grow wiser together. Thank you for being here.